Welcome to the On Deck podcast for all your baseball DFS needs with your superstar hosts, fantasy baseball experts, Casey, Bubba, and Bogman. On Deck podcast is sponsored by LineStar app, the #1 top-rated data and analytics tool for daily fantasy sports.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the On Deck MLB DFS podcast, brought to you by the wonderful people at LineStar Sports. Make sure you check them out on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar MLB, and give them a follow there. And then go download the app in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. You will not regret it. All the tools you need in the palm of your hand to build your winning DFS lineups in all of the sports and all of the sites. It's a great way to get things done. So go check that out. You can find myself on Twitter at BDentric. My co-host is always on Twitter at Bogman Sports. Bogman, how are we doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm doing way better than Aroldis Chapman is, on late night in the 4th of July. That's for sure. And, doing way better than the Diamondbacks, but not as good as Ohtani. So doing pretty solid here. And we both have to apologize because people are lighting off fireworks. We have dogs barking all over the place. I don't own dogs, but my neighbor's dogs are barking. You own dogs and your dogs might be barking. So if you guys hear anything weird that sounds like the apocalypse, we apologize.
Yeah, I closed my window because it sounds like World War III is taking place outside of my neighborhood. Like mortars are going off faster than I've seen in most World War II movies. Like they bombed Normandy at less of a rate than's going on outside right now. But hope everybody had a great 4th of July. Let's put it that way. When you're listening to this, it'll be past hopefully. So hope everybody had a good time there and safe time with friends and family and everything. But we got 9 games for you on a Monday, which is always a fun one here. We got no rain to really worry about. We got wind blowing out in a couple games that can make things a little feisty and fun. But let's get things cracking for you here. We got the Minnesota Twins, Chicago White Sox, Dylan Cease, Bailey Ober, one of our 3 or 4 really high totals today. Over under of 10 on this one. Cease is 96 on DK, 84 on FanDuel, Ober 64 and 63. Cease has been sneaky good. Bogman, is he in play for you tonight?
Yeah, I think he's got to be in play here. His last start was against Minnesota, and 6 innings pitched, 2 earned, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. So that's a quality start. We'll take that. Ober, I know he's been decent sometimes, but hasn't gone deeper than 5 innings pitching in a game. And his 2 starts against the White Sox, he has 7 1/3 innings pitched, 9 earned, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. So gonna pass on Ober today.
Yeah, I'm with you on Cease, though. I'm usually not the biggest Cease guy, but 4 of his last 5 starts put up very, very good fantasy performances. So that's been great. It's a good matchup for Minnesota, who might be without Josh Donaldson as well. I'll talk later about how Minnesota can be a nice contrarian stack because I could see Cease being high owned. The other reason why Cease is in play is because overall the slate pitching is not good. So he's definitely going to check the boxes there. So I'm on the Dylan Cease train. What bats do you like in this one?
I mean, I like the White Sox bats, obviously. Vaughn, Gavin Sheets, Zach Collins is playing because Grandal is on the IL. Jose Abreu has been good. Tim Anderson's been good as well. If you want some PVB data, there's a little against Cease for the Twins. 4 for 9 for Polanco with a double and a bomb. 3 for 10 for Kepler with a homer, 3 for 9 for a rise. And Larnach has been hot, 2,800 on both. So he's a decent buy as well if you're not playing Cease. But because I think Cease is in play, I'll probably go with more White Sox bats.
Yeah, the White Sox are a great stack tonight. A lot of people are going to think that as well. So you got to be a little different in those stacks. Gavin Sheets is going to be uber chalky. I think he's like 40% on DK on Sunday alone. But it's because DK doesn't raise his price. He hits second in this lineup. He's mashing baseballs. He's a great play. But most won't go to guys like Andrew Vaughn, who's been hitting very well over the last couple of weeks because a lefty's not on the mound, so you can use him as leverage. You mentioned Zach Collins is another good low-priced option. And also Lurie Garcia. He was hitting 5th on Sunday. Those guys will come in low-owned, so you can still play Anderson on an 8-game hitting streak. Abreu, who went deep on Sunday. You can go that direction in those games. And then I'm going to be using a lot of Cease, but I don't mind if you want to use some of the Twins. You mentioned some of the BVP data. Plus, there's just a lot of value, which will help because there's not a lot of cheap value pitching tonight. So you're going to want some value bats as well. Atlanta at Pittsburgh in this one. We got Max Fried, Chase DeYoung, over under 8.5. Fried's 85 on DK, 91 on FanDuel. DeYoung 56 and 58. Any interest in Fried on this one? Who looks like he's back in action after that IL stint a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, how about a walk-off pinch hit today for the Braves too for Fried? That was awesome to see. 3 of his last 4 quality. His last start against Pittsburgh, or his start against Pittsburgh this year, 7 innings, 1 earned, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks. So not the best, but I think he's in play here on, like you said, a shorter slate. So for that reason, also, I'm probably gonna pass on Pirates bats. I mean, Reynolds has been good, Frazier's been good, but I'll pass on them. I'll stick with some of these expensive Atlanta bats if I'm going to go to them. Heredia is a nice price at 25 and 24, but Acuna, Riley, Freeman, Albies, all expensive but worth it.
Yeah, Braves are another great one. You mentioned the price. You want to like the Heredia call for some value. Dansby Swanson's 39 on DK. It's a little bit of value, I guess, compared to the rest of the guys, but they are pricey. They are pricey. As I kind of mentioned, even though I like Dylan Cease, you're going to need some discounted bats somewhere. So figure it out. And I think Heredia is a very good one because DeYoung is not very good, obviously. Fried I do like in this one. The one caveat I will say is Pittsburgh over the last month only striking out like 18.5% of the time versus lefties. So they might not be blowing them up, but they're not striking out a ton. We talk about it time and time again on DFS. You want those strikeouts in a big, big way.
That was his last start.
Yeah.
Yeah, his last start against them, he had more walks and he only had 2 strikeouts. So yeah, good point to make.
So just keep I think Fried might be popular because people see Pittsburgh. So keep that in mind.
Right.
Cleveland at the Tampa Bay Rays on this one. We have Logan Allen versus Rich Hill over under 8.5. Hill's 91 on DK, 7,000 on FanDuel. Allen's 48 on DK, not priced on FanDuel yet. Rich Hill, since the sticky stuff's gone, Bogman, not good.
Yeah, I mean, even before that, like ever since that 13K outing, he hasn't been good, which makes me want to stack bats in this game. But there's not really bats to stack. I mean, Ahmed Rosario has a little, like he's 2 for 6 with a double against Hill, which is great. But there's not a lot of hot bats on either side. Cesar Hernandez has been good, and he's cheap for Cleveland, 34 and 29. Eddie Rosario's been hitting, and he's 32 and 3,000. No, he's a guy you like. Zanino, the all-star with his 18 homers, 4,400, 2,500 is a decent one. And Wander Franco went yak on the 4th of July, but I don't know. There's just not a lot of bats to love, even though this looks like a stackable game.
Yeah, I think Cleveland's definitely the low-owned one we can go with because some people see Cleveland still and they see Rich Hill and they don't pay attention to the fact Rich Hill's been garbage. You mentioned Eddie Rosario. He can hit versus lefties, but Franmil Reyes is back. He's very affordable on both sides, 3K on FanDuel, 32 on DK. The other one's Harold Ramirez. He's 24 on DK. He's 26 on FanDuel. So you get some cheapies there going up against Big D Mountain and see where that one takes you. But there's obviously some good looks for your Cleveland team. It's never a fun time to stack Cleveland, but if there's a slate to do it, this could be the one to really open up value to get pitchers like the one in this next game. We got Milwaukee at the New York Mets in this one. Brandon Woodruff, Tyler McGill, over under 7.5. Woodruff is 10-4 on DK, 11-4 on FanDuel. McGill 72 and 62. Woodruff's been outstanding. McGill's been kind of fun. This will be his 3rd career start. Thoughts on this one, Boggs?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, anytime you want to throw Woodruff out there, you can. He's expensive, but worth it almost every time. McGill, like you said, 8 strikeouts in his last start against the Mets. That was in 5 innings. So I see it. I think it was actually against Milwaukee, but I see starting McGill for sure, especially at that price, especially on DK. You're looking for a cheaper second guy. So I get it, which kind of makes me off on bats, but there have been some hot bats. I mean, there's little PVB data too, 3 for 6 for Alonso against Woodruff, 2 for 5 for McNeil. But Dom Smith, Lindor starting to hit a little bit, and he's, his price has fallen off a lot. Chase Peterson has been smashing for the Brewers. So is Adames, Keston Hiura, Jackie Bradley starting to pick it up. So some of these Brewers are starting to pick it up. So I think I'm more in on the pitching, but I see the hitting side too.
Yeah, a couple things, because you got Miguel. He's gone 5 innings his last start, like 4 something his previous. He's gone up to 92 pitches, which is good. He's given a home run in each start. It's kind of his only bugaboo. The strikeout's been great. Everything you mentioned. So I can see using him as a discounted arm because there's not a ton out there. I would not use him on FanDuel, but I'd use him on DK as an SP2. Woodruff's a great play. He's going to be uber popular. That brings into the fun here. The wind's blowing out to left field at like 12 to 13 miles an hour in this one. So if you want to get frisky, you can definitely look at some Mets. You mentioned, and they are heating up, as you mentioned. There's some value to be had. But I like Milwaukee. I like going back to Milwaukee. Jace Peterson, like you mentioned, Avisel Garcia, no one plays him. So I think he's very much in play. Brewers, they're one of the hottest teams in baseball offensively right now. It's crazy. So ride them while they're hot, and you're going to get some nice value in them as well. Detroit at Texas, Willie Peralta, Colby Allard, over under of 9 on this one. Peralta's 52 on DK 56. It doesn't matter. Are you using either pitcher in this one?
I can see an argument for Allard. I don't think I'm going to do it. But 2 of his last 3 are quality, and it's Detroit, who we know strikes out a million times. So I think he's on the table for sure, which kind of takes Detroit bats off. There have been some hot ones. I mean, Badu is in one of his good stretches. Eric Haas has still been going yard. Scope, has been hitting real well too. But I'm more interested in Allard and Gallo, and Eli White's been hitting, and he's cheap, 26-22. Nate Lowe is starting to revamp his early season success, 47-26. So I think I'm more in on Allard and a couple bats here.
Yeah, I don't mind Allard. I remember I touted him last time against Oakland. It's like, it's never fun. It's one of those don't watch because he kind of scares you too often. But when it's all said and done, it's usually close to, if not a quality start. Puts up 15 to 20 points. Like, he'll have his rough goes, but overall he's been getting it done most of the season, actually. So he's in play for you. I do like these Texas bats, as you mentioned, though. Gallo's on fire. You mentioned Eli White, super cheap. Another nice value on this slate on both sides. Nate Lowe, like you said, is hitting. So I don't mind going some Texas bats. And Adolis Garcia is heating up. He's had a great last week or so. So you can go back to Texas here and probably get them super low owned in the slate against a horrific pitching staff. So that's obviously a great angle to go to. But a great angle to go to is this next game. We got the Philadelphia Phillies at the Chicago White Sox. No total because it's Wrigley, but I'll give you a secret here. The wind is blowing out hard to left center field, it looks like, in this one, in Wrigley Field. And we get Matt Moore on the mound for Philadelphia versus Zach Davies. And I like Zach Davies. I don't think I'm going to be able to use him if the wind's the way it is, but he's been really good this season.
He's been good this season, but he's been a landmine lately. Quality start, then 8 earned, right? Like, he's just been a landmine. I'm not doing either pitcher on this. I'm going to stack hitting both sides. Like you said, wind's blown out. We love it. There's a little PVB data here too against Moore. Rizzo 5 for 6 against him with 2 bombs. That's 833 average. 2 for 5 for Baez with a homer. 3 for 9 with for Jock Peterson with a double and a bomb. And against Davies, Harper is 3 for 11 with a double. And then Patrick Wisdom is starting to heat up again. Chris Bryant is smashing. Eric Sogard's hitting, and he's cheap, 25 and 2,000. Wilson Contreras, 48 and 26. Alec Boehm, Ronald Torreyes are kind of the bats that I like here. So I'm stack either side of this game. And what do you say the over was?
There is no over because Wrigley makes us wait till the next day so they can see the weather there.
10.
It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot.
Yeah,
the other one I'll mention, I'm with you on pretty much everything. I love the Cubs versus Matt Moore. I think most people will because they should, because it's Matt Moore. I think Rizzo, because the lefty will get you a little discount there. The one thing I'll mention is also Jake Marisnick. He's 21 on FanDuel, 26 on DK. Loves facing himself a lefty. So has some fun with Marisnick in that one. And Harper's starting to heat up again, folks. He's starting to heat up again.
Did you see that all of his homers this year are solo shots?
Yeah, it's bad. Our last 2 benched with Bubba's, I've had listener questions. When will Bryce Harper hit a non-solo home run? So yeah, I'm very aware. It's crazy. It doesn't help when their offense has been ice cold, but it's all like Hoskins had a couple homers this week. Harper's, they're going to be fine. That offense is too good to be cold for too long. Maybe the wind blowing out in Wrigley is going to help with that one. So we'll see. Cincinnati at Kansas City on this one. A nice little battle in the Midwest here. We have Vladimir Gutierrez versus Mike Minor, over under of 10 in this one. Are you using either pitcher?
Nope. No, I know I can be a Mike Minor guy on occasion, but smashing his last 2 starts, 10 innings pitched, 14 earned, hard pass. Vladimir Gutierrez as well, 14 earnings in his last 15 and a third. That's 3 starts. I'm going to wait for both these guys to come back around. So not going to start him here, but play bats. I mean, Castellanos 3 for 8 with a bomb against Minor. Votto's been hitting. Tyler Stevenson has been hitting. And then a bunch of Royals. Whit, Michael Taylor, 24 on both. Salvi Perez, Ryan O'Hearn, 32 and 26. Nicky Lopez has been hitting a little bit. So I'm going to stick to bats in this game. Pure bats.
Yep. Don't mind that one bit at all. I think Kansas City, and you get some value there with Ryan O'Hearn, Michael Taylor. even Nicky Lopez if you need to, so you can have some fun with that. And always a fan of Cincinnati. They've been kind of annoying us lately, not with their inconsistency, but Votto's been playing really well. India, and you get some other value pieces in there. So another great one. As you can tell, we said at the beginning of the show, pitching's bad. There's offense everywhere. So you can play the ownership game and find your lower owned stacks and probably have a very successful evening in this one. Last game of the night here, we got Boston Red Sox heading to Anaheim to face Los Angeles Angels. Martin Perez, Jose Suarez, over under 10 in this one. Perez 8K on DK, 68 on FanDuel, Suarez 82 and 57. Either pitcher interest you on this one with a very high total?
Perez a little bit. His last start against the Angels was 6 innings pitched, no earned runs, 5 strikeouts, 4 walks. It's not the greatest, but shorter slate if you want to be contrarian. I understand it. And a lot of these Red Sox have been hitting, so no way I'm taking Suarez. Fletcher against Perez is 3 for 8 with a double and a bomb, so that's decent. But some of these Red Sox, man, I mean, Kike Hernandez, JD, Devers, Renfroe, still, I mean, his price is going up, but it's still affordable, $4,035. Danny Santana's been hitting a little bit. Marwin's been hitting, Xander. And then, if you want to play Shohei, he's unbelievably expensive, but all he does is mash. So if you want to throw him in there, Jared Walsh also hitting real well. Iglesias and Gosselin is back on a heater. So I like Perez maybe, but mainly bats here.
I can see your Perez argument, but yeah, I like these Boston bats for Suarez because there's so much weird hype around Suarez, yet he threw 56 pitches, I think his last time out. They're saying he's maybe 80 to 85 on Monday night, and they get Angels bullpen, which is not that good. Boston's bats are swinging it well. Kike Hernandez had a great week this past week. He loves facing his lefties, so I like that. Hunter Renfroe's very affordable versus a lefty and a few other spots, so I'm with you on some Boston action as well.
Don't we have
all right, last game of the evening here. We got the Washington.
Okay.
Yep, we got one right here. Okay. Washington Nationals at the San Diego Padres. We have the wonderful Johnny Lester taking on Joe Musgrove. Musgrove's 87 on DK, 96 on FanDuel. I think Musgrove is very much in play tonight, Bogman.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, 3 out of his last 4 are quality starts. He did get beat up in his last start, but I think he's good here, especially, I mean, Lester ain't going to do much. 12 earned runs in his last 7 1/3. That's 2 starts. So hard pass on him. And there's some good PVB data against Lester. Eric Hosmer, 8 for 22 with a triple and a bomb, hitting 364 against him. Manny Machado, 5 for 15 with 2 doubles and a homer, and he went yak twice on Sunday. So Tatis, Pham, Grisham, Profar, all in play for me today. So get Musgrove in there and stack up some San Diego bats too.
Yeah, because outside of Musgrove's last little hiccup, like you mentioned, he's been like 15 to 20 points almost every single start. So it's one of those on such a bad pitching night. I kind of like having that potential just floor. Give me that floor. We can rock and roll. 87 on DK is not super expensive. So I like going there. And the Padres late night hammer is going to be glorious because John Lester, not so much. You mentioned Machado homer in the last couple of days. He's hitting almost 350 over his last 10 games. So he's mashing. You got Pham, who loves hitting him some righties. I don't even mind playing some Jake All-Star Rake Cronenworth out there. Mm-hmm. So Will Myers is affordable. There's a ton to like in San Diego. So I'm a big fan of that. There's a ton to like all over the diamond, Bogman. So recapping things for the listeners real quick. Who are your top pitchers on this slate?
I mean, Musgrove and Woodruff are clearly 1-2, I think. I think Cease after that. Fried is in play. Maybe Martin Perez. That is probably it for me.
Yeah, Woodruff, Cease, and Musgrove are like definitely my top 3. I usually don't like to sit up top with everybody, but it's been that bad. I could see going McGill if you need to go cheap, but it's not pretty overall. You can make stacks with almost 85% of these teams, Bogman. So who are some of your top stacks?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this is seems like a pretty stackable day. I kind of like Chicago. I really like San Diego, but I know that's an expensive stack for sure. I like Boston a little bit too with some of those hot hitters, and I mean probably either side of this Cubs and Phillies game.
Yeah, White Sox, Cubs, Phillies. That's like our Coors Field special potentially. San Diego for sure, as you mentioned. And then I just want to mention to the listeners, Cleveland and Texas could be your lower owned games that have potential to pop off, especially Texas. So yeah. If you can still get some of the chalkier ones like the White Sox, the Padres, whatever, but mix in some of those other teams, you'll be just fine. So something to keep in mind when you're building them. You don't have to fade everything all the time. But what you do definitely not want to fade after you follow LineStar on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar DFS is the home run calls of the day. Since we hit July, it's been a little chilly. Unlike the United States of America, it's been chilly. So we're going to get things going as we kick off a new week. Independence Day just came up. You could hear the birds chirping in the morning because all the fireworks that went off and woke them up. It's going to be great. So check them out on Twitter. Retweet the home run calls of the day, and you have a chance to win some free swag. So Bogman, Monday, July 5th, who's your home run call of the day?
Give me Anthony Rizzo to go yard off of Matt Moore. I mean, he's already got 2 against him in 6 at-bats, and he's hitting 833 against him. So Rizzo, easy call for me today.
Yep, don't hate that one. The name I wrote down is in that same game. It's his teammate. It's his shortstop. It's one Javi Baez. So give me some Baez in that game, taking him out. I'm really hoping Matt Moore, like people realize that sometimes time has passed people by, and it should have passed Matt Moore by a while ago. So, Javi Baez gets some. The Cubs offense has just been dreadful, though. So, like, it's one of those that I can already see us banging our head against the wall Monday evening before we record.
They only had 3 hits. What happened? They made Matt Moore look like a Cy Young winner, right?
Baseball at its finest. But we'll see how it goes. Bogman takes Rizzo. I take Baez. Humphreys, maybe he takes Chris Bryant. We just go for the trifecta in Wrigley. We'll see. But you have to check out LineStar on Twitter at LineStar app. Check out Bogman at Bogman Sports. I'm at BD Entrick. 9 games played for Monday in the books. We'll be back with you guys on Tuesday. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck. See ya.
Thank you for listening to the LineStar app On Deck podcast. Download LineStar app from the App Store or go to LineStarApp.com for all your DFS baseball needs. If you love the On Deck podcast, support KC, Bubba, and Bogman by rating and subscribing. Good luck.